management professional from PMJ, an international body for project management organization with over 3 million members worldwide. Favour is a certified project manager with a Noble Project Management Institute and a prospective chartered financial analyst, CFA1. He has a team of over 40 professionals working together to create and drive value for businesses. With over 7 years of experience in project management, business and financial consulting and strategic investment, he has worked with over 80 plus businesses from scratch to the point of massive profit while helping them while helping them access grants to fund their businesses. He has helped business owners and startups access grants over 200,000 USD. Favour Emeli also heads Lamphis Agency, a PR firm focused on branding. He, with his team of financial analysts, launched an investment and asset management firm, the Wales Finance Limited, focused on managing assets and investing in businesses and professionals. Currently, Favour assumes the position of project manager and product development manager in his own business and 4 other businesses. He is passionate and driven with the belief that business cities of Africa can be revolutionized to compete on the global scale. Through his private one-on-one business and financial coaching sessions, he has achieved remarkable transformation for more clients. Ladies and gentlemen, can we stand up on our feet as we give a welcome ovation to Favour Emeli?
Good afternoon, everyone. If you're doing that for Jesus, you can do it better, not for me, please. Now, please, you can have your seat like kings and queens. I'm very much delighted to be here to speak to every one of us, especially seeing that we are all young people. It holds a lot of memories for me. I also want to appreciate the management and the organizers of the program. It was opportunities like this that built us and made us who we are. You know, sometimes when people say, I don't want to be a church boy, I don't want to be a church girl. In fact, we all grew from churches, okay? And part of the things we learned in churches are the things helping us till today. Okay, so I want you to appreciate yourself once again for being here, please. Okay, we'll be looking into building timeless businesses. Building timeless business, especially in difficult times. Sometimes when you talk about difficult times, you be wondering what difficult time is. Part of the things we've seen in the previous years are quite different from the things we are seeing today. Am I right? The prices of things just 6 months ago is quite very much different from the prices of things now. Who agrees with me? So a lot of things have changed. But then there are things that would also never change. There are businesses that have been from day one, and those businesses will still be till the end of ages. So we'll look into all of these things together. So that we can be properly guided in the nature of businesses we can launch into at this difficult time. I always believe anybody can do business. And I want to say this, nobody is too young to succeed. Even if you think you are 11, 12, 13, the truth is that I have tried more businesses that didn't work than the ones that worked. Okay, so nobody is too young. Nobody should tell you that you're too young to excel, too young to succeed, too young for this. In fact, it's a normal feeling with young people. It was so bad that St. Paul held Timothy by the hand and told him, don't let anyone despise your youth. It's valid. Anybody can succeed. So with part of the things I'll be talking about my personal experiences and a couple of other things. So I have a slide. I don't know if someone is controlling the slide for me. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's get to the next slide. We'll try to be as fast as possible. Okay, I was happy when the first speaker made mention of this passage. I already had it there. Because the truth is this, when people say there is a casting down, there is always an opportunity to say there is a lifting up. no matter where you are. And the truth is this, I've noticed something. When people are complaining of problems, that's the easiest time to scale. That's the easiest time to succeed. When everybody is crying. In fact, I went into school, I went to Futo in my year one. The only guy that sold popcorn in school then stopped selling. People were complaining, where do we get popcorn, what do we eat after lectures and the rest of that. I called my roommate, I said, opportunity don't show. We left school, went to Unizik. People that have gone to Unizik, there's this special kind of popcorn they eat there with milk, butter, and the rest. It was not popular as of then. We learned it for 1 week, came back to Futo, replicated it. Just like our first speaker said, he said, copy and replicate it somewhere else. We did that, and as a student in year one, where people were complaining that parents were not sending money, at least every day in school, I was sure of about 4,000-5,000 naira profits every single day as a year one student. Now, succeeding in difficulty, because people believe that this is difficult, this is that, but by proper planning, copying things that work somewhere else and bringing it to where it was not existing is enough business idea. Am I making sense to someone? So whenever people are complaining, it's an opportunity. Now, what are people complaining about in recent times? The economy is bad, food is expensive, this and that. But then the truth about businesses is that when you have your own business, or when you are I call it printing your own money. When you have the opportunity to print your own money, you can step to the market and you'll be told that this has increased to 10 naira. You come back to your own business and mark up your own price. And the final burden of this pain falls on salary earners, whether you like it or not, because you can't knot your boss tie and say you must increase my pay. If you are not so valuable in that company and you try it, you'll be sacked. That's when you will know your true worth in that company. When you tell your boss, sir, please, I need a raise, his response will tell you the amount of value you're being placed. Am I making sense to someone? There are people that they don't even know how to sack you, and now you now come to them and say you need a raise. They will tell you, thank you very much for having worked with us all these number of years. We appreciate you. You can make use of the door. Am I making sense to someone? Okay, so please, next slide. Okay, so I'll just do this in 2 parts. I don't know how much of time we have, but then I'm sure we will not cover it. Because sometimes these are things we do in 2-3 days, but we won't cover it. So, but I'll just major on the first one, building a timeless business. Second one should have been building businesses in sync with time, because there are timely businesses, there are timeless businesses. There are businesses that will be existing today. They are very timely. Give it 2 years, it's no more. We call it hustle. How many of us are doing hustle? How many of us do hustle? Hustle is a timely business. Once the update is there and you miss it, you've missed it. Okay, but there are timeless businesses that no matter what happens, is always there. Please, next slide. I'll show you something. Okay, now I want to say this now. Timeless businesses. Do you know there are products you've seen before that now they're no longer existing? Now, for example, we've seen the old TV sets of those days that you have to unwind the screen before you can even put it on. Some of us that are up to 35 years will remember. There are a lot of other things, the bicycle, the long jump, kerosene lantern. How many of us remember? Kerosene lantern, they have to pour kerosene inside. Have you seen it again? Now, okay, you've seen the iron torch too. That's torch that when you put tiger battery inside, big tiger battery, and you put it on. How many of you can remember? So, how many children do you have now? Okay, so the DVD players, the cassettes that you put, you start recording. When you're done, you will now bring this plastic on, you start rewinding it back. All those things, they are no more there today. But the truth is this, the problems that brought about those products are still existing. Because there is still darkness, right, at night. Am I right? But then people no longer make use of that solution. Now, timeless businesses are born from timeless problems. Problems don't care how long you've stayed on earth. From the days of Adam, there have been darkness, and they will need light. They started using firewood to light. It grew to, they use on in Igbo, they call them panaka also, that you bring kerosene, then you put a wool in it. It was a solution. But as time goes on, solution kept innovating and innovating, but the problem has always been the same. Timeless businesses. Now, I'll put it this way. Please, next slide. I'll show you something. With all these things now, nothing have changed. The problems are still the same, but the solutions keeps changing. And there is one thing with nature, next slide. There is one thing with nature. Nature is unapologetically simple. Is that you're growing or you're dying. When a tree stops growing, it has started dying. When a human being stops growing, it has started dying. So nature has no room for mediocrity. That is nature. Even God in his own power said, if you are not bearing fruit, even me, I will cut you off. In fact, it does not end with cutting it off. He said, I will bundle you and it will be burnt to the lake of fire. God himself. Now, we humans, we are living on this earth and we don't care. We are not living a fruitful life. We are not living a productive life. We are doing nothing, let alone building productive businesses. So how do we now take over the mountain of finance? You know, there are kingdom financiers who say, I want to make you a kingdom. All of us will shout amen. But are you doing and living a life that is worth being a kingdom financier? One of the most explicit things that made a mark for me this last election was that one man could stake 100% of his wealth for an election. For an election. If we have people like that in the kingdom that can stake their wealth that Christ will propagate, what do you think will happen to Christianity? But we need to build similar businesses like that. So I will now say this, please. Next slide. I'll say this for us, please. Next slide. Are you there? Next one, please. Okay. The time value of money. I've said this before that part of the things that money could buy now is no longer the same. So with this, I want to tell us something. When it comes to next slide, when it comes to timeless businesses. Now, I want us to run through these thoughts now. Follow me on these thoughts. Have you ever one day, because toothpaste has increased in price and you say you will not brush your teeth? Has it ever happened? Has it ever happened? Have you ever said that because the cost of clothes has become expensive, that you will now come out to the street naked? Have you now said you will come to the street barefooted because slippers is now expensive? Now, there are things that once you wake up in the morning, I want to challenge us. Once you wake up in the morning, you start stashing people money, whether you have the money or not. From waking up, in fact, you woke up from a mat, from a bed, even from the floor, you've dashed someone money for sleeping. Am I making sense? You now step out to brush your teeth. Someone have taken part of your money. Despite, it doesn't matter how difficult the economy is, you spent that money. You want to brush your teeth, you spent the money. You now enter the bathroom. I'm trying to let you know the amount of money you spend every day from the point of waking up to the point of sleeping. So you think of it. And the funny thing is that you might not even have money in your pocket, but you're spending it. From using the toothpaste, from using the soap, you now step out, you go to the restaurant to eat. You've paid the quota, right? You now enter transport, something like that. So by the end of the day, you must have spent at least, every single person here in a day spends up to 1,000 naira. Am I making sense? Sometimes 2,000, some people 5,000, some people 10,000. But then have you asked yourself, how can I position myself to make sure that when other people wake up, they are giving me money? Because when you wake up, you're giving people. So why don't you strategize in a way that when they wake up, they're the one paying you? And it's so bad that if you don't pay other people money, you feel so bad. In fact, it affects your self-confidence. Some of us, when we don't brush our teeth, when we don't bathe, the way we talk and the way we move is different. But I want to categorize this into 25 categories, which we will not finish, but I'll stream through them so that we can be able. I want every one of us that once we leave here, we can hold a single idea that once we leave here, we can implement it and get started with. Am I making sense? So please, I don't know what slide is that, but you can move to the next two slides where it starts listing those ideas. Okay, so the modern economy and with that we're launching. You know, there was a time when you want to buy something, the evolution of money and currency. It started with the barter trade that we know. You want yam and your neighbor has beans. You go and exchange it, right? Then it came to a point where we started using cowrie, olden days. They'll tell you 2 cowrie, 3 cowrie, and you buy what you want to buy. Then, with time, it translated into coins. In the Bible days, you start hearing 70 shekels of silver, 70 shekels of gold, and the rest of that, coins. And then it went to paper. But I want to tell you something. The new economy today is no more measured in cash. I will explain. It's measured in 4 things: the money, which is another form of currency, your energy, your attention, and your time. When it comes to attention, I want to tell you something. How many of us spend up to 1 hour? In fact, it came to a point for me, I went to my phone. I had to set limit on my social media apps. Because I've noticed how these guys work and how it operates. You pay them without earning anything. You log into your Facebook app. I'm coming. You log into your Facebook app. What happens there is that do you pay to log in? I'm asking, do you pay to your login? You don't. You go to your Instagram, do you pay to log in? On your WhatsApp, do you make any payments? Are we confused? Okay. Do you pay cash to log in? Okay. But you are paying your time, you're paying your attention, you're paying your energy, and all these things are forms of money. And let me tell you something. When a product is free, you are the product. When you're using a free product, you are the one that is the product. Because the time you spend there, they tell advertisers that so person who likes beans and plantain and likes so movie spends 3 hours on our platform every day. If you want to reach that person, pay us to reach him. That is advertising for you. For you, it's free, but they're gathering your data, they're gathering your time, they're gathering your attention, and they're selling to someone else who makes money from it. Netflix, the same thing. You might pay some small amount of subscription, but they're collecting your activities on that platform and modifying an experience for you, but you don't know. So you're making a payment. Now, the issue now is that the people who make money in these present times now are not the people that exchange their goods and services in exchange for money. There are people that exchange other people's time and attention and collect money from it. For example, the bloggers. I had a blog then that had over 7,000 visitors every single month. And the articles were there for them for free to read. They were coming in, they were reading. But the good thing about it is that advertisers will now approach us and say, we need to have access to your audience. We now say, okay, for you to have access to this audience for a period of 1 month, an advert, this is how much you have to pay us. And they were paying in thousands of dollars to have this access. Am I selling anything? No. Do I have any products? No. I just built a platform, just like Facebook. And what they were buying were your attention and time. So how do we reverse this? So there are other things and basic human needs that no matter what happens, how bad the economy is, you must keep making money from them. Now, I can ask us the popular question, what is the basic human needs on earth? What is the basic human need on earth? Shelter. Please, you can take me to that slide. Shelter, what else? Clothing. Okay. Would dissect them one after the other. And I want to tell you something, nothing has really changed. There's a scripture I had to put here. Please, leave me to that second scripture. Ecclesiastes. It says, nothing truly have changed. What has been in the old is what it still is. Generations come and generations go, but nothing have changed. So the businesses that have worked in the past can still work again. Nothing have changed. People still wear clothes. In fact, the moment Adam and Eve opened their eyes to reality, the first thing they discovered is that we are naked. Business have started. At that moment, that was when business started. They started gathering leaves and started needling it with thread to make clothes. Business started. And to today, is that business still existing? Has it changed? The only thing that changed about it is that people are becoming more innovative about it. Designs and the rest of that. And it came to a point where Adam was alone in the garden. And even God himself recognized the need and said it is not good for you. But today we don't count relationship as part of basic human needs. If you are left, I know there are some superpowers here that if you leave them inside the house, they can stay. The phlegmatics, no problem. I understand you. But relationship is part of the basic human needs. There are other basic human needs. So please, let's move to that. We'll move after that, one after the other. So as we are moving through this, one thing I want you to do for yourself is, at every point we come into one, ask yourself, is this something I can do? If it is, start making plans to implement and fire up with it immediately. Because my ideology here is that at the end of today, everybody here would have a single business idea you're living with. Is my target. Okay, so we've talked about the first one, the food. Now, when we talk about food, it doesn't mean, someone said something to me one day, said, when you tell a poor man's, sorry to use that word, a poor man's child about agriculture, about food, what he thinks of is the farm. Trying to till the ground. I'll give you an example. There are other different kind of agriculture. People do animal husbandry, people do a lot of things. But then there is a place in Proverbs that says that the lazy man does not roast what he brings from hunting. So that means he brings and eats without processing. And it brought me to an ideology that when it comes to businesses, food businesses, the farther away you are from the soil, the richer you become. I will analyze. The person who cultivates tomato in the farm is not making the most money. The guy who takes that tomato and brings it to your house made more money than the farmer. The guy who buys that and processes it to tin tomatoes first has his money more secure because that tomato cannot spoil, at least for 2 years. They are getting further away from the soil. When you talk about food, who says you must go to farm? You can make ordinary fruit juice shop is enough, and people will keep drinking fruit juice because this propaganda now that avoid carbonated drink, this and that. You can start up one, and people will come around and exercise and then drink food. When it comes to shelter, we have a lot of other people, the real estate guys, people that build. I went to Abuja, I discovered that there is a different way they do their real estate. In fact, you can have 4-story building, and the 4-story building is owned by 4 different people for life. So they are not expecting you like the normal Onitsha man that will boast that I've built 4-story building and rents it out. The money you spent of over 100 million naira building a house and you rent it out, people are paying 2 million, 1 million naira. It will take you at least 25-30 years to recover that money, plus maintenance. But someone else with another ideology builds that house and tells people, I want to sell. The 100 million, at the end of 3 months, he has sold the first floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor, and he's off with his 50 million naira again in less than 6 months. Goes over to buy another land and build again. So housing is a way of making money. But then, when you can tell yourself, I might not be able to build a house and the rest of that. Anybody can own a piece of the soil. I have this friend that will always tell me that the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. But we, the children of God, cannot afford to own a piece of that, our father's inheritance. It's an irony. So anybody can own a piece of the soil. How? People can go into marketing. And I have someone who, after he sold land for people, he was about to be giving his own commission. He said, convert this commission to land. That was how he made his first plot of land without any dime. So money is not a barrier. Anybody can make that. The third one could be, the first one, clothing, is in different aspects. People can do fashion design. People can do a couple of other things. I don't need to tell you about that. So let's move to the next one, please. Which, rush that. I might stop at number 10. Now, this might be very, very... There are people that, in fact, it came to a point, I had to buy a book, How to Sleep. It sounds funny. This woman that owns Huffington Post wrote the book. So you discover that sleep and rest, in fact, for the poor people, sleep is normal. The rich, they are looking for every single time they can steal to sleep. You see them, you go to market to buy a normal mattress. They go to market, they are looking for an orthopedic foam, spring bed. All this is part of the sleep because they want to really enjoy themselves. If you go to the health industry, they have produced drugs that once you take maybe 5 mg, you'll be able to sleep for about 8 hours. Sleep. So there are a whole lot of other things. Please, the next one, healthcare access, telemedicine services, and the rest of that. Sanitation and hygiene. That sanitation and hygiene, do you know you can start a cleaning company? Because people are very careful. They want to make sure that their environment is clean and neat. Imagine that people call you up and you have, in fact, I lodged in a hotel one time, and I saw the lady who was about to come and clean the room. I asked her, "Is this what you do?" She said she's working for her madam. I said, "I don't understand." He said her madam owns a cleaning agency, and they do the same thing for about 10 different hotels and apartments, and have recruited them to do it. So this madam does not know how to clean a house. This madam does not even bother appearing there to see what they are doing. But she has built a business and has employed people that go to these hotels to do the cleaning. That brings me to the thing I said earlier on. For the poor man's child, when you talk about agriculture, they think about the soil. When you talk about a business for someone who is very innovative, what they do is that they start looking for, how can I make other people earn this money for me? That is the economy of the 21st century. They don't think of, how will I make the money? Come out from that thinking now and ask yourself, how do I make other people earn this money for me? Start the business and bring in people that will earn the money for you. It's as simple as that. But for the first few months, maybe 3 months, 4 months, you would have to work on it to understand the processes first before you can bring in people. Am I making sense to someone? Please, the next one. The social connection. This is the place of relationship. Facebook, what did they pride themselves to be? They say they're connecting the world together, right? And no matter how bad you want it to be or how good you think it is, the truth is that people have gotten wrong connections on Facebook, and people have found the best of connections on Facebook too. So the platform is not your issue. It's how you maximize the platform that is your issue. Okay? I said earlier on, the basic need of human beings is relationship. Because when God looked at Adam and said it is not good for him to be alone, he knew what he was talking about. You have to create your companion. And this is, imagine if you can stay a full month without talking to your spouse, without talking to your children. Those days of the old, you know what they do? They write letters and give to someone traveling. If you go, please ask of so person, give the person this letter, and that letter might never get to the person. And someone be asking, how do I replicate this now as a business? I heard someone saying he's a software developer and the rest of that. You might not have to build a Facebook. You might not have to build another Instagram. But you can build a community where people will come and discuss their interests, like Netherlands. Gather people, don't give them content, let them create the content themselves. Bring people together. These are lots of ideas. Please, next slide. Safety and security. There was a business, I listened to Shark Tank. It's a pitching platform. And this man came in this aspect of business now. Sometimes it's not just about guns and the rest. The same CCTV people sell is under security. This man came, he was bidding for about $10,000 for them to invest in his business. And they turned him down and said that the $10,000, we don't see the need of this. This man went back to his shop, to his place, and built the same CCTV we know, but ring.com, if you go to that site, you will still see it. All it does is that when someone knocks on your door, you can be anywhere in the world and see who is knocking at your door. And decide whether to open or not with that same app on your phone. Under security. So people are smart enough to do the kind of things they want to do. But someone might be saying that these ideas are not obtainable on this part of the world. But there are other ways we can bring in these security features to what we do now. But what I'm trying to do here is that to tell you that there is nothing that is not an idea that you cannot execute. I have 25 of these. I don't know if we have that. Personal fulfillment. There are people that handle classes back to back. They've built themselves so well in the knowledge industry that when they say Jack, people want to pay to hear them. Now, I will say this. For people that have been in the choir, and you've been in the choir for 5 years, and all you do is to minister to yourself only in the bathroom, that voice you're wasting in the bathroom, people need to hear it. Why not one day record that voice, go to the studio? It doesn't take up to 10,000 naira for someone to record a beat for you in the studio. How many of us have tried it before? If you've not tried it before, go and try it now. In our office, we've done about more than 25 beats. We are not into the music industry. It's just a background sound that we use to promote our videos, about 25 of it, and it didn't cost up to 5,000 to do one. It's because you've not tried. I want to inspire you today that you can make money from that talent. Go to the studio first and ask, what will it take me to produce a beat? Take that beat, now go back to your bathroom and try again. and see if a sound will come out from it. Am I talking to the choristers? So a business can come up. But now, there is a business that is not, that you don't earn directly from, because you might think, I will do that and start selling the disc. That era have gone. There is a place of business where you are the business. How do I mean? You are giving people what you can offer for free. They will listen to it. As they listen to that more and more, they want to know who is this person. From there, they want to invite you to come and sing so place. They want to do this. Before you know it, you can start teaching people how to sing. And they start making money from it. We never know someone can make money from cooking until someone hosted a master class and charge people 30,000 naira to be in a WhatsApp group. And about 1,300 people were in that WhatsApp group calculating her money for her. From the cooking we've been doing from the days of Adam, timeless businesses. People are still doing it today and making money from it. Knowledge, personal fulfillment, and the knowledge section. There are about 15 more here, but I don't know how far we can go with that. But my ideology here is that I want to make you angry and at the same time motivate you too. That if at the end of this class, you still live here and you're asking yourself, what business should I start? There was a scripture in the Bible that says, it is better that an iron or a block is hung around your neck and you're placed under the ocean. Okay, so if there'll be more time next time of subsequent programs, apart from listing these 25 ideas, I will tell us, one, how to start the business, how to run the business, and how to sack yourself, because that's where the problem usually is for businesses. The business of Obi and Co, our daddy did. Our daddy has still been there. They don't know how to handle it. There is no transition. But like the example of the cleaning lady I gave you, she started the business and she doesn't touch the mob. It's called a succession plan because there was something they did that business can work in her absence. So the earlier you give up, when I say give up, I'm not meaning you should give up, like not that give up. The earlier you extract and sack yourself from that business and step back for that business to run without you, when you can say truly that you built a timeless business, because a timeless business is not supposed to depend on you. Coca-Cola, we don't know who started it. Do you know? But it has been there from day one to today. There are other businesses you can't think of who started the business, but it has always been there. So today I want to ask you, as you're living here, don't think of what should I do next, just zero your mind. There are things you've been doing. You have a talent, you can cook, you can sew clothes, convert these things to a working business and you will see yourself succeed. I'll end it here. Thank you very much.
You can do better than that.